Greetings, geeks. Welcome to Geeks in Space, episode 733. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda, and joining me today in this Everything Bagel, we have Chris DeBona.
Everything bagels are awesome.
And Rob Roseboom.
You know, they might be the perfect bagel.
They are the perfect bagel. And the fact that Rob Malda didn't embrace his shows me that he, doesn't have a good bagel shop near him. Because if he did, he'd know it's more than just like some crappy poppy seeds on top of some white bread.
I mean, it was just like a lender's bagel out of the refrigerator cabinet at the grocery store.
You know, it's frozen. I get it. You know, lender's actually isn't the worst, but it is not the best.
All I was saying is that if I'm going to have a bagel, I'm going to choose the straight up plain bagel because I really just want to put cream cheese and smoked salmon on top of it.
Yeah, it's not the worst. The worst bagels are three-legged dog brand bagels. Don't ever eat those. Those are not.
I don't know what that is. Is that a brand of crap bagel?
Just made up. I mean, if you went to the store and saw a bagel called three-legged dog bagels, would you buy them?
No.
Oh, of course you wouldn't.
People are like, oh, but you're sympathetic for three-legged dogs. You should eat this poor, sad, deformed bagel.
Welcome to Bagel Talk.
Mascot is just a three-legged dog eating a soggy bagel, eating a soggy bagel in the swamp. They're the cheapest by 30%. Technically bagel. We can call them a bagel legally.
I am so confused. I'm trying. You know, there's nothing about this brand online.
Three Dog?
That's because it's made up.
Oh, you made it up?
Yeah, dude. No one called their bagel company three-legged dog bagels.
Because I have to tell you, there's 3-inch bagel beef flavored dog treats.
I think there's a three-legged dog beer, however, but that makes sense.
Three-legged dog foods. It's mostly people talking about caring for their three-legged dog. There's the Three-Legged Dog Tavern in New Orleans, which I'd imagine would be in French. What's three-legged dog in French?
Tri-leg?
Oh, no. Peron et la...
Pyramid?
Impeccable accent, Mr. Malda.
Was it? I wasn't even trying to have an accent. That's just how I say tri-leg. Well, thanks for Bagel Talk. We actually bought I wish I could remember wicked murder water or something because my wife drinks too much of the LaCroix. And so they're marketing a new brand of water for men. And it's all
it's Liquid Death. You know, it came out 3 years ago.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So what are the flavors? Like pine cone? Is that one?
Yeah, Liquid Death water. That's what it is.
One that tasted like steel shavings?
We got a lime. But the ad campaign on it is really funny. It's so macho. It's over the top macho. The cans are Pilsner sized.
They're shotgunning it.
Yeah. Yeah, water, woo!
Yeah, get out the Liquid Death bong.
But they look kind of like Guinness cans or something. The packaging on them is really actually kind of neat. They have a hole in the back. And
how much is 12 waters?
I actually didn't look at the price. It was on sale. My wife
$14.99.
My wife I don't think I paid that. My wife goes through so much LaCroix. It's amazing. LaCroix. So I got this just as a joke because I thought
severed lime.
Was so funny.
Mango chainsaw.
Yeah,
you know, I have to tell you, chainsaw. I know they're not just copying all the Manimal language, but they kind of are. You know, it's like they're someone over there is like a common traveler with us somehow.
But
because all the Manimal stuff predated Liquid Death.
I'll point out that they are missing their 17% more awesome red label the top of the can.
I have a Manimal can. It's just around the corner. I'm not going to get it, but yeah.
We trust you though. I have to test something. I made a screenshot button so that I can screenshot the podcast and then I don't have to go make a screenshot later.
Nice.
So I did it with the Clerks trailer because that's a nice image. The Clerks 3 trailer dropped. I liked the trailer just fine. I can't imagine the movie's going to be very good.
So, I, like a lot of people in my generation, adored the movie Clerks for what it was, right?
I saw it 37 times.
Yeah.
37?
Oh, there it is.
There's the manimal.
That's actually the engine of my car where that's sitting on top of.
Slaughter your thirst.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun to make those.
Do you still have them? I imagine you still
have
them.
I got probably 20 manimals in the house yet.
I think they're empty, right?
How many did we get? We got like a pallet, a half pallet?
Yeah, we got I think between 60 and 100. I can't remember exactly right now.
What's in the can?
I took one of the coins. It's
an energy drink.
Oh, really?
It's like Red Bull.
Franny says it's not terrible.
Huh.
No, it's almost exactly like Red Bull.
Yeah. No, I took the coins we had made out to a shooting range and roughed them up.
Yeah. I got a bag of those too. I think there's a big bag at the Iron Belly office. Anyway. Yeah. So when this came out at that age, I loved this movie and made me think, at that time, my goal was like writing like comedies like this, and then, like working for the Onion or something. But this and his story about how it got made, I was like, I could totally do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was very inspiring. And then I can't say I would do anything different if this were my baby, but
yeah,
it's kind of gotten sad a little bit. Part of me is like, I wish you would just stop, please.
After Kevin Smith made Tusk, he should have just mic dropped and just said, all right, I can't get any better.
Yeah.
I still have at least some fondness for Clerks 2. Yep. And in all honesty, I watched the Jay and Silent Bob reboot twice. Because I'm not a smart man. But like, he's not. Like, I don't know if I've changed or he hasn't.
Help. You know that,
right? Yeah. I hope that this movie is decent. The premise of it is actually pretty funny. It's just basically Randall is trying to make Clerks.
So I think the beauty of Clerks was that it really wasn't a movie. It was literally just a collection of scenes, of comedy scenes that you would write, and you might see it in improv,
Yeah.
If someone's like, all right, you're a video store clerk, someone comes in and says this, what movie do they want? Someone shouts it out. And that's the way the whole movie was. I mean, there's a overarching story arc, but it didn't matter. It was really just a collection of really funny scenes that Kevin Smith had written. And then he tried to make movies, and I don't think he's very good at making movies.
No.
I think he's good at making scenes.
Yeah, I will say Dogma was a good movie.
Sure.
Chasing Amy actually wasn't terrible either.
I don't mind Chasing Amy at all.
Mallrats had its charm.
I kind of love Mallrats, but
there are parts of it, right? But he suffers from sort of a Tim Burton thing where it's just the same thing over and over and over again. And I think he really needs someone else in there to, stimulate something else so it isn't all Kevin Smith all the time.
Yeah, he needs somebody who like read the Save the Cat book to just like sit with him and just be like, okay, you need to make your characters like do something like this now, because they've just been talking about the Death Star for, like 5 minutes and nothing's happened. You haven't advanced their characters. But also like it's the there you go. The shtick has kind of wore off. Now maybe the meta nature of this will loop back around and it'll work.
I mean, it's almost come back around. I mean, because we are the slacker generation, right?
Yep.
This is a slacker movie, and now the big common social idea is that kids are staying at home, they're not moving out, and it's like their own version of slacker culture. So if any time they could reboot those sorts of ideas, it would be now. But Kevin Smith isn't the voice of those people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
And now his shtick is so fanboyish. It's like I don't mind
it's so far up its own butt.
I don't mind it, but like you just have to. It's the same thing as when you watch Will Wheaton do the after show for an episode of Star Trek.
Wheaton?
Like I don't believe anything you're saying. You're just shilling your product, and that's fine.
Do you know how sad it made me when he came out in Picard at the end there?
Yeah.
With the Traveler. I thought, oh, come on. Could we just... Will doesn't deserve this.
Right?
I don't know. I couldn't make it to season 2 of Picard. You know that.
Yeah. It was worth it. It was worth it. You had to experience the whole thing to truly understand. Now, you know what ended yesterday is Strange New Worlds.
I haven't seen it.
And
sorry, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen The Last Umbrella Academy.
Rob, have you seen The Last Strange New Worlds?
No, I couldn't get to play.
Oh, well, I won't. I won't spoil it. Rob, you're gonna dislike part of it very strongly.
Does Will Wheaton come out at the end?
And, yeah, Will Wheaton shows up and transports.
With the time travel. Yep. Yeah, the time travel.
No, it's a time travel thing. But
they're like, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, okay, so it's a time travel thing, but it's not like really a time travel thing. It's more like the view of your own future kind of thing. More like a Charles Dickens thing, a Christmas Carol. And it's actually really good.
Charles Dickens with 2 Ks and a silent Q?
Yep.
So, did you watch the Orville this week?
I did. And let me say that somebody on the Orville took the wrong lessons from the Star Trek, the original motion picture.
The motionless picture.
And the wrong lesson that they took is, let's have 90-second long musical sequences where we slowly pan around our spaceship. There's too many of that in this episode.
Yeah, what bothered me about this episode was I thought it could have been a really powerful, really good story, like almost a tearjerker.
Yeah.
If those actors were better and it wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like part of the problem with Orville is it's kind of jokey all the time. So, but jokey in a
but
really
it saves you from bad acting,
I guess. But then when they have a storyline like they had this one, where it could be heartbreaking, right?
Yeah,
it's a kind of cool twist on a time travel sort of story. But like I couldn't believe that guy was really heartbroken. Do you know what I mean? And
for sure.
And
he's just
then you're coming back to the ship seems all sort of forced and everything.
Well, when that character was introduced, he was very much set up as like the poop fart joke kid.
Yeah.
And so he does not pull off what the story asked of him. I think you're right. But you know what? I liked the story.
I liked the story too. It just made me wish this would have been really awesome if it was better actors.
Well, the one thing I just wanted to say about Strange New Worlds is you'll know, but the last minute and a half, I wanted to punch something because like they did the thing I didn't want them to do most of all in this show.
They had a musical number?
No, I'm all in on the musical episode. If you have a dance number or a musical number, a puppet episode, I'm fine. I'm in.
A puppet episode.
Every show gets to have a puppet episode somewhere around season 6. It's just a rule. So Chris is showing on the screen the test engineering image from the James Webb Space Telescope. I don't think they said it is one of the deepest field photographs ever taken. So I assume it's not as deep as the Hubble's the second.
Yeah, this is just for their guidance system.
It's pretty deep though. I mean, they're looking at that. They're looking at the amber part of the universe. So I mean, that's really far.
You can get blood from this and make dinosaurs.
Yep. Too. That's where you go to get it.
Well, other universes. That's where you get the other universes DNA when you want
other universe dinosaur DNA.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look, you got universe.
Ambaloo just says that he believes that Kevin Smith is being totally genuine, and I agree with him. I think he is being totally genuine. I just think that is that's the start and end of what he's got, which is
it's funny when he did. Yeah, it's like what went off the rails is when he started doing the Clerks sequels and the Jay and Silent Bob movies. Just like, this is terrible.
See, I think Jay and Silent Bob 1 is really funny.
I gotta disagree with you.
That's
it's self-indulgent crap.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And I'm not interested in
as a payoff for the movies that came before. I thought it was lovely, but I almost feel like his career could have just stopped right there. He could have mic dropped and like retired from film directing and been a comic or whatever, done stand-up storytelling.
So I actually kind of like the movie Red State.
You know, it's
I'm
not
kind
terrible.
of a horror movie fan, and despite its topic matter, I think Tusk is hilarious.
Tusk is crazy cool.
It is probably an hour too long, but there are some remarkable scenes in there and some dialogue that is fantastic.
Yep. And the commitment to that concept, like they did it. They're like, yep, we're gonna do it. And wow, I love it. Well, anyway, this is the James Webb picture. I can't wait to see what the real one looks like. They said it's going to come out in the middle of July, so maybe in the next week or two, we'll get to see that one. Next up is the most amazing bit of news you're ever going to see. Tensorflow Lite was ported to the Commodore 64.
I admit, when we open sourced tensorflow.js, I didn't think it would end up on the Commodore.
I don't think anybody did. I don't think this is a good idea, but it is, as always, amazing.
It's not a terrible idea, but
no, it's a terrible idea.
This is the wonder and the beauty of open source software. You release something, you're like, they're probably gonna use it for this and this and this, and then somebody's like, "How? 1 second, I got it running on a Commodore 64." You're like, okay,
cool, but why again? I mean, they've done the same thing with like Bitcoin mining and stuff. Like they just, it's fun to port things to these old devices, and I get
really
that.
is.
I get that. But the irony is that, and for something like Bitcoin too, I mean, these are the devices that these are the applications that are so computationally expensive that they're pushing global warming like on a real scale. So like, maybe this porting it to less optimized hardware isn't, exactly what we want to be doing, but hey, it's fun.
What was the chip on the Commodore 64?
Was it 6502?
It was 6502, but was it like a 400 nanometer process? I mean, was it still...
Back then they actually measured it in yards.
All right.
Well, let's see. Here's one to get you grumpy. A future version of Windows 11, Microsoft has confirmed you won't be able to run it without a webcam.
What?
That's what they're saying. You're gonna need a webcam for authentication for login. I feel like there's something off about that, and that it'll be disableable because you have to, like, for servers and stuff. But who knows?
I have one device that runs Windows 11. I am not updating any other device.
No, this thing is running
because it came that way. Because you can for the big little chips, where you've got
that's the only
high speed. You can only use Windows 11 on those.
Right. But that's different. You need a feature that doesn't.
Yeah,
exist.
They could have that feature in the Windows 10 schedule.
Oh, of course they could, but they don't want to. That's not what they want to do. But anyway, it has to be 15 frames per second. It has to be like a 720p capable. They have some stats. There's other things that Windows requires. Like I think that they're saying it requires Bluetooth, which seems crazy to me. Let's just add more security holes. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
More paths. Anyway, yeah, that one just seemed unfortunate to me. And this is obviously for their facial detection stuff. Like,
well, no, did they mention? I was going to ask you. Did they mention an IR requirement? Because that's what Windows Low uses.
It listed. I don't know the specific APIs, but it had some specific compatibility requirement to some API, which I assumed was their, I don't know if it was infrared, because I don't think that their login requires infrared. I think it just requires a certain resolution.
Windows Hello does. It requires a infrared sensor, and it paints the pattern over you.
Man, if they actually required that, that would be crazy, because like, I don't know how many people have that, but like, I mean, it's on your phone, but it's not like, I mean, maybe
it's not on most phones either. So yeah. Maybe they're going to go full Tesla and say, all we need is cameras.
More cameras. All right. Well, there's another one here that's neat. We've talked tons about detecting deepfakes. This one is actually a paper that somebody wrote. It detects deepfakes by, when you're on a webcam with your lighting and you move around, the lighting from your monitor, is illuminating your face. And this is actually, it detects that. So if you're deepfaking, apparently deepfakes don't account for the lighting coming off of your monitor particularly accurately. So if you're on a webcam, this will detect anything that's acting as a deepfake in more or less real time, which is super
cool.
clever. I mean, I can't imagine that's going to work for long.
Give it 4 months.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, I think we might have talked about this before, how early in the deepfake era, deepfakes never blinked. Because they didn't, they're trained off of a library of photos, and you don't take photos of people with their eyes closed generally, so they don't have enough photos of closed eyes.
Hopefully you don't have a lot of photo albums of people with their eyes closed. You get some pretty serious issues if you have stuff like that around your house.
I mean, I have my album of pictures of Rob with his eyes closed, but he doesn't know about that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to know about it. Don't tell me.
Nope, I won't tell you, but it's 600 pages long.
Seems about right.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was neat. I'm fascinated by the arms race between deepfake and deepfake detection, because we've seen it before in other spaces, and this is going to be. I mean, you guys have heard me say this a bunch of times. At some point in the future, this is going to cause something horrible to happen on this planet.
Oh, for sure. You know what arms race I'm concerned about?
What's that?
The arms race between used car salesman props and bats.
Yep. The wacky wavy tubes and bats.
Yeah.
Let me find that.
I mean, it's just a matter of time before something terrible happens with this. We've already talked about Morbius and what happens if we, do too many experiments on vampire bats. What that could mean for the ecology of the world. I mean, look at that. You think that guy's just going to give up to the bat hordes? No way.
Not a chance. So, okay, is this bad for the bats?
There's a lot of bats there. Wow.
Yeah. That was what I didn't read the article. I mean, like, this seems like a completely harmless way to keep bats out of your.
Yeah, it is. It's just scarecrows.
Yeah.
It's fancy scarecrows to keep. These I didn't read this, but it has to be fruit bats probably from where I'm looking, because they don't want them eating the trees.
They call them fox bats all over or something.
Yeah, flying foxes. Those are the largest kind of fruit bat.
I mean, if nothing less, I'm going to send this to my wife, who loves everything about those wavy guys.
Wacky wavy inflatable arm spinning tube guys.
Did you ever see the episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they kept saying that Sweet D was one of those? I love that show.
I didn't see that episode.
I love that show.
I can see it.
Yeah,
you would normally use these to scare birds away, though, right?
See, now I'm thinking I should put it so I have on the side.
That's
of
what
my
they're
house,
doing.
Yeah.
I have to assume they're
Sweet D is a bird.
Oh, right. I got
you. The side of my house is super poked up with woodpecker holes. Like it's really bad, and like we keep meaning to fill it up with like insulation or something, just because it's like really bad. But I wonder if a wacky wavy tube is both appropriate for my homeowners association and functional at scaring away woodpeckers. Be kind of neat.
Maybe.
Let's see. The last one that we had on the list, Chris, was the ex-Theranos president, Ramesh Balwani, found guilty of fraud. Elizabeth was convicted, right?
She was convicted. She hasn't done her time yet, though, I don't think. So she's facing up to 20 years. I don't know if they've come back with how much she'll end up serving, She had a baby, and she's appealing, so she's out while appealing, because rich people don't go to jail until they're ready, and so and she was like, "Oh, Sunny abused me. It's all Sunny. Anyway, he was found guilty on all counts and of defrauding his investors and wire fraud, including the DeVosses. And so he is also facing the same sentence of 20 years. But sentencing has not happened yet. So
I wonder how much time the two of them will serve collectively.
If I was a betting man, I'd say probably 4 years each.
4 years max. Each?
Yeah, and then probably out on good behavior, some bullshit like that,
All right, I'm gonna say less than that.
You think it's being less than that?
But like you said 4 years each, so 8 years total. I bet that their combined sentences are less than 8 years.
I'm gonna go high. I think this.
You think they're gonna make an example out of them?
Yes, I think this is so high profile that, especially with the way people are with crime and stuff now, that I think they'll do at least 10 combined.
Yeah.
Combined.
All right. 10 years from now, when we come back, actually, I guess if it's combined, then we only have to wait 5 years. Magnum says that the episode with Sweet D and the wavy tubes is called "The Gang Buys a Boat."
The Gang Buys a Boat.
And it actually is a very funny episode because the boat is not a good boat.
No.
Not like the Shits and Giggles, which is a very good boat.
Yes, very sturdy.
Yep.
Very sturdy.
Unsinkable unless one of the pontoons springs another leak.
No, it didn't even sink then, and we had 10 people on that boat. Way too many people on that boat. We still made it.
We had like 2 tons of man on that boat.
Yeah, we still made it. So yeah, it's not pretty, but it's sturdy.
That's right. Let's see. Thor opens this weekend. Rob, you can come down and join us if you want. We're going on Saturday afternoon.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
You guys are doing that.
Yeah. I probably won't make it.
I figured.
You're gonna be too busy putting up your wacky wavy inflatable arm flailing man.
We have. You would not believe how many fruit bats there are in Grass Lake.
So many.
And
it's just all fruit bats. It's people. People are actually fruit bats in a trench coat. Yeah.
Usually the time I harvest my figs from the backyard, and they've just decimated it. So.
I mean, this is the sort of area where a huge percentage of the local millionaires dress up in fruit bat costumes to fight crime at night. And their arch nemesis is the wavy tubes.
They're actually not fruit bat costumes. They're costumes made of fruit bats.
Ew.
There's a difference.
Gross.
But, yeah.
So at this moment,
we're all fruit bats now.
At this moment, I'm still. Go ahead.
Wings over the elbows and knees, so you got full range of motion. You know what I mean? They actually make very good superhero suits.
A lot of mobility.
Yeah.
Water resistant.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how water resistant a fruit bat is, but.
Well, I would imagine that their skin would be like able to repel water a little bit, right? They got like the fur and stuff.
Yeah, lots of animals have fur. Doesn't make them water resistant.
Well, I'm thinking like otters and stuff, like the mammals that have like the fur. Like it seems like a fruit bat would.
The animals that go in the water have very water resistant fur.
I just think a fruit bat might, unless are you making it out of the wing skin?
Well, the elbows and knees, as I said.
So nice. Magnum is going to see Thor in 5 hours. I just want to say no spoilers, please. But I listen to a movie podcast every week, and they were talking this week about Ms. Marvel, and they were trying not to talk about Thor because they were film critics who've all seen Thor, and it sounded like they were all embargoed, and they kept like giggling and not wanting to talk about Thor, because they're not allowed to, but they seemed very positive on Thor, so I'm hoping.
I'm betting he's going to win in the end.
Yeah.
You think so?
I think he's going to win.
The Gore the God Butcher isn't going to whittle away on Thor?
No. I think he's in team up, and he's going to come on top. Yeah. And I bet there'll be wacky hijinks in the middle.
And a probably moment
where someone's dead that he has
Jane
to
Foster
address.
dies from cancer or whatever.
And then there's got to be like a I'm getting back in shape sort of montage.
That's in the trailer. He's going from dad bod to god bod.
Yeah.
Well, so, I hope Korg is there and he makes a lot of jokes about rocks.
So I think we're in a dangerous place with Taika Waititi.
Oh, like, for sure.
Like if he overdoes the Taika Waititi, it's gonna be like, can we get a little dial it back to like 7? You know.
And the scarier thing,
and I adore his work.
He's working on a Star Wars.
Yeah,
like
and it's all Taika Waititi. There's no other characters. It's just Taika Waititi.
He's CGing like 7 characters.
Yeah.
Yep. He's a Rancor.
He's a Rancor. He's a droid. He's
roar! I'm a big Rancor. Time to fight.
Yeah.
Can I eat you? I don't know how to do a New Zealand accent.
Very pleasant to my owner.
You know what it is? He's the white Tyler Perry. You know, it's just going to be Tyler Perry in every role, or it's like Eddie Murphy. You know,
when he was all of the clumps.
Yeah.
Or Austin Powers in the Pentaveret.
Yes. Which was not terrible.
It was watchable, but
it's not terrible.
It's not great.
It's not great.
No, it's if you like Austin Powers and find it funny that one man is playing 3 roles, you will probably find pleasure in this movie.
All but like 2 of the roles, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean like.
But I couldn't tell everybody apart. There were so many Mike Myers.
There was a lot of Mike Myers, and there was the gal and 1 or 2 other people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I keep seeing it and almost starting it, but I don't really like Mike Myers a whole lot. So
yeah, then you're really not gonna like the Pentaveret. Like Jeremy Irons does the intro.
God, those intros are funny.
Credits, but it might be the best thing about the show is
those intros are great.
Yeah.
I really do feel like if they had edited this down, because it's like 8 half-hour episodes. If they had just done it as like a 2-hour movie, it probably would have been a little tighter. You could have lost a third of the characters.
It's pretty throwaway.
But you know, if you like,
it has some very funny bits in between. Like the headquarters of the Pentaveret is at Hudson Yards, which I hate. And I'm like, it's totally appropriate that Hudson Yards would be the host for a crappy, you know, half-assed, you know, low-spending organization.
There's a lot of knowing winks.
There's a lot of bullshit.
And I'm all for that. Like that's the kind of stuff that makes me happy in a show like this, which is so self-aware of what it's doing.
Yeah.
But I think that's all for my list. Does anybody else have anything else exciting to say?
No.
All right then. Goodbye, Rob Roseboom.
Goodbye.
And goodbye, Chris DeBona.
Bye.
That was episode 733 of Geeks in Space. I was Rob Commander Taco Malda, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.